Hey everyone, Jeff St. Clair back for another episode. The last episode was about Sleepy Hollow in Henrico, Virginia. Today I want to touch on coal mining in Henrico, specifically Western Henrico County. I did want to mention it was in a little bit in Goochland and predominantly in Chesterfield as well, but I'm just going to touch on Henrico and I'm not going to go really too far in depth, but I'm just going to briefly go over it. Some of you might be aware, but there was a lot of coal mining in Western Henrico County, Goochland, and Chesterfield, starting in the 1700s all the way up until about 1920 or so. There's a really good PDF document out there. If you just search coal mining in Henrico County, it's got hundreds of pages. It's got all kinds of different maps and really cool pictures. Shows you some of the people involved, some of the large coal breakers and structures. You can even see the railroad that ran through Deep Run Park. I'm not sure what that picture is, but a lot of really interesting things in this document. I haven't been able to read through the whole thing yet, but it's pretty interesting stuff. So, a couple of things I want to show you is how it relates to the modern day. So, for example, there's a neighborhood called Kingsley near Lauderdale and Gayton, and the village of Gayton, actually had a village that was basically located in the heart of the Kingsley neighborhood. It was a self-contained community. They had a general store, commissary, some would call kind of like a company shop, barber shop, like a bar, saloon, hotel. I mean, you name it, they had it all. It's kind of like an old west town. And they had it up there until the late 1960s, early 70s, and then they basically tore down every structure, which was kind of sad. A lot of history there. But somewhere in the neighborhood, there's some urban explorers. And if you zoom in, I don't know where, somewhere in the woods near Kingsley, you can see the bricks, the original foundations of some of the structures of the original village of Gayton. You can see the bricks here. Give credit to Emily MacArthur, the urban explorer. Some of the foundations here kind of starting to erode in the soil. Some sort of metal pipe. So good work, Emily. So that's Kingsley. Also, there were some coal mining explosions, 1899, 1911, 1912. This was related to natural gas. And again, I want to, in this video, relate it to the modern day. This is a picture of Godwin High School on Pump Road. But if you look over here to this driveway right here, some of the coal miners were buried there. And it's called Cawthorne Cemetery. Here's a picture of it, and you can see some of the neighborhoods back up to it. So I thought that was pretty interesting. And then also the neighborhood I grew up in before Sleepy Hollow, Crown Grant, originally owned by the Knuckles family, as far as a few others. But on the back side of the neighborhood, there's another neighborhood that borders Church Road, and it's not part of the Crown Grant neighborhood, although it's walking distance from it, but they have a road called Crown Grant Road, which is interesting. And here we are, modern day neighborhood in Short Pump of Henrico County, Virginia here, right? But this is the 2012. Go down to 2007. That looks like an interesting. I think this is part of an old farm. And this was the old Duval family area. The Duval family owned this part of the land on the backside of Crown Grant. They own most of the coal mining, but this section here, and I can even go now. Sorry, before I go there, this section here, as you might have already seen, if I change the dates, it's not letting me change the date right now, but this is gone now. They've built a new house over here. I don't know why it's not letting me change the date. Let me refresh the screen real quick. Sorry. That's strange. Okay, I don't know why it's not letting me change the date. Let me try it again. Sorry, nothing like technical difficulties when we're going live. Let me try it here. Type it in. Okay. Now we're back. Alright, so as you can see, they built a modern day house there. But this section is still there, and according to the records, there's a PDF file with the old cemeteries of Henrico County. This, let's see. Here. So this would be the Duval family cemetery. So apparently the historic Duval family, some of their family members are buried back there. So I just thought that was interesting. But there's, again, this PDF file has all the different historic cemeteries all throughout Henrico County. It's called Henrico County Cemeteries. So that's a good PDF file along with this original one that I showed you guys. And again, it goes into a little bit of Goochland and Chesterfield as well. There was a really good YouTube video called From the Mines of Henrico that showed an old coal mine shaft off of Lauderdale, but Henrico County's pulled that from their YouTube channel. I'm guessing maybe it's because they didn't want people back on the private property investigating, because they actually told you exactly what property it was. I won't tell you that, but it is off of Lauderdale. But again, if you just search for this PDF document, it's hundreds of pages, literally hundreds of pages, and it's got some awesome information, really cool stuff. Property records going back to like 1901, Henrico County. It even has like a little map to show some of where the current mine shafts are located on modern day plats. Another interesting thing is, if you guys ever heard of the Stewart School near the Shore Pump area, that property approximately was a dead center of an industrial mining complex in the Gaten area. They had a 10-foot wide shaft in the northeast corner of the property, as well as another one in the southeast corner. And in the eastern part of the property, they had a coal slag, which is like a pile of spoil. So in other words, just a big pile of coal. And it was sitting there all the way up until the 1960s before they, close to the 1970s even, before they were able to, they don't know if some of it was hauled away or if they just smoothed it out and put dirt on top of it and graded it. I don't know which it was, but I do know there's a church not too far away. I think it's a Methodist church, where I know they said in the 80s they destroyed a couple of their lawnmowers because they found out there's some metal pieces of equipment that were left behind from the coal mining operation that kind of messed up their lawnmower. And then I know the Nova swimming club, they had problems building their foundation. What I heard when they got started, just some uneven ground and sinking stuff. So from what I've been told, some geological organizations are kind of monitoring the area just to see if there's any shifting and whatnot. But there's just a Swiss cheese of underground networks all around the Gaten area, so I wouldn't want to buy a house that's off of Gaten or Lauderdale. I think it'll be okay, but there's always a risk for sinkholes, some would say. But this is just like a brief overview. Like I said, there's a lot more in-depth stuff to get into. I'm not an expert by any stretch of the imagination, and I'm very much an amateur, as you can see by my videos. Had the issues midstream, so I'm just a novice amateur historical guy that's interested in local history, going over Virginia, the area I grew up in. At some point, I'll touch on Texas, where I'm living now, talk about some of the ranching history. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and if not, that's okay. Have a great evening.